Today I'm going to show you how to catch trout with a Carolina rig, which is going to include me showing you how to put one together, and then we're going to actually catch some fish with it.
This rig is best with spinning gear anywhere from ultralight all the way up to medium light, and for your main line what I would recommend is 4 pounds up to 8 pounds. Other tackle we'll need for this rig is a small bead, a sliding weight anywhere from 1/4 to 1/8 ounce, and a barrel swivel. And of course we'll need a hook. The ones I use most often are an egg hook, a bait holder, or a small panfish hook. If I'm fishing with salmon eggs, I'll go with an egg hook, but if I'm using soft plastic worms, minnows, or jigs, I'll use one of these two guys, and for what I'm doing today, I'm going to go with the bait holder. When I make this rig, I always start with the leader, which is going to be lighter than my main line. I usually use about 2 to 4 pound test line, so in the event that this rig gets snagged, the leader will break before the rest of my rig, saving me a lot of lead. I like my leaders to be 1 to 2 feet. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of line that will give me that length. Now I'm going to tie my hook on with my favorite knot, the Palomar knot, but you can use your favorite knot here. So to tie a Palomar knot, I'm going to fold my line in half. Then I want to form a little loop that I can feed through the eye of the hook. Now I want to make sure that I get a decent amount of line through so I can make a good overhand knot. The amount of line that you send through here with this knot is pretty important because you'll see as I start to pull this knot tight, that's going to have a looped tag end on the right side. I want there to be enough line where I can open up that loop and feed the entire hook through that loop. I'm going to bring it up past the eye so it doesn't get caught as I tighten it, but before I tighten it all the way, I'm going to wet it so it slides together easier. That'll prevent any unwanted damage to the line as I tighten it. I'm going to go ahead and pull on the main line to tighten it down. Give the tag end one last tug as well. Then I will trim the tag end. I just want to double check that this knot is good to go, and with a good tug, yeah, this thing is rock solid. Now I'm going to move to the other end of the leader to tie on my barrel swivel with another Palomar knot. And you don't have to use a Palomar knot. You can use whatever knot you want here. If you like the uni knot or Colleen knot or fisherman's knot, it's really up to you. I just love the Palomar knot. It's never slipped on me, and I feel like it is an excellent knot in most situations. Now I'm going to move to the main line where I will add my sliding weight. This is the 1/8 ounce sliding weight. I can go up to 1/4 ounce, but anything above that is overkill for a trout rig in my opinion. Next I'm going to add a bead to my rig, and there are a couple of reasons why I put beads on my Carolina rigs and why I'm going with this one in particular. Normally if I'm using Carolina rigs for something like bass and catfish, I'll use a bead like this, but to me this looks a lot like a salmon egg, and I feel like the trout are going to be attracted to that. I don't want them attacking this. I want them going after my bait, and this small white bead is going to do a lot better at deflecting attention away from it and over to my bait. The big reason I put beads on my Carolina rigs is to protect the knot tying the main line to the leader. If that bead isn't there, the weight banging up against the knot can weaken it over time, and if that knot is weak and I hook into a big trout, I might lose that trout when it breaks the line. So to keep that from happening, I have this bead here to extend the life of the knot. Now to tie the leader to the main line, I'm going to use yet another Palomar knot. I'm telling you guys, this is just my favorite knot. I just can't get enough of this thing. But again, use whatever knot you want. So whenever I do this, what I want to do is that loop that I have there on the right side, I want to make sure that I run that entire leader, including the barrel swivel, hook, and the line, all the way through that loop. Then I'll bring that loop up past the barrel swivel, but of course, before I tighten it all the way, I'm going to wet it so it slides together easier and I don't damage the line. Once I'm satisfied the knot is good and strong, I'll trim the tag end, and now we can get to fishing.
I'm going to be using a mouse tail for bait, and I know it's going to catch some fish, and I'll show you guys how you can do that with this here Carolina rig. So there are a few different ways that I'll fish with this thing. If I'm fishing in a creek or something with some current, I'm fishing in a lake today, but if I'm fishing where there's current, I will cast up into the current and then just kind of let the bait come back toward me, let the rig come back toward me with the current. And when I do that, of course, that line's going to have a lot of slack in it. So what I'll do is I'll like work the rod up, keeping it out of the rocks or whatever's on the bottom of the creek or river. And then as that line becomes slack, I'll reel it in a little bit like this, and then just slowly popping it off the bottom. Now, if I'm fishing in a lake like this where I'm not going to have any current at all, I could fish it a couple of different ways. Now today I'm fishing actively, but if I wanted to fish more passively, what I can do is if I'm using something like salmon eggs or power bait floating eggs, something like that, where I can Just bait it up, cast it out, and then just let it sit there. I'll set it in the rod holder. Maybe sometimes I'll hold on to the rod and then just wait for the fish to bite. And what you're going to look for is, a lot of times, at least in my experience, trout bites are very subtle. So you're just going to be looking for a slight tapping of the rod tip. And when you see that, go ahead and set the hook. And now today, I'm fishing a lot more actively. I'm going to be bouncing this thing off the bottom. So what I'll do, like what I'm doing right now, I'll cast it out, let it sink down to the bottom, which shouldn't take too long, maybe a few seconds. And once it's down there, reel in the slack line. And what I'll do is just let it sit there for a few seconds, just in case I dropped it right in front of the fish's face. And if nothing bites, I'll just go ahead and start reeling it in a little bit and just very slowly just moving it off the bottom, just a slight raising of the rod tip, nothing dramatic, just very slowly working it off the bottom, because this is more than enough movement to get that fish's attention, and trust me, they will find it. Oh, got a bite. Got him. Yes. Very subtle take right there, just like I expected. There we go. Yeah, he's putting up a fight. Yeah, there he is. I see him. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a decent fish. Oh, yes. Freaking love fishing like this. This is so much fun. Well, this buddy's not coming in easy. But he took that mouse tail. I think that may have been my third cast right there. We got ourselves a trout on. All right, let's get the net out. Gotcha. Check out this beautiful fish. Man, I absolutely love fishing for these guys. All right, let's let this one go. If you guys want to see another rig that's going to be really good for catching fish like this, check out this rig where you can put 2 baits on 1 hook, so you can give the trout more than 1 option to choose from, and you might catch more fish. I hope to see you there, and thanks for watching.